So a political party is an organized group of people who have come together under a certain belief and ideology, seeking to either take over government, become government, because we always say political parties are government in waiting, or contribute towards leadership discourse in the country. And so they are important. They are important because, especially for us in Kenya, being a multi-party democracy, political parties are the primary gateway into leadership and decision-making positions. Every 5 years, we have an election. And so there are candidates there are people who are nominated by various political parties to represent constituencies, wards, counties, and even, of course, at the presidential level, the country. So far, we've never had an independent president. I think we do have independent presidential candidates, but they've not made much headway. We've had independent members of parliament, because our constitution does provide for one to be an independent. An independent is simply a person seeking leadership but is not affiliated to any political party. Yeah, so we have MCAs who are independents. We have MPs who have been elected as independents, meaning they are not allied or affiliated to any political party. They have come with their agenda and people have endorsed their leadership to represent them at the different levels of governance where they exist. If you believe in the ideology that is espoused by that particular political party, because political parties form government, and government makes decisions for us that affect our day-to-day lives and personal lives in every way and shape and form. You talk about the cost of living today. The taxation policies are made by decision makers who have ascended into those positions courtesy of political parties, right? Parliament endorses those decisions. Parliament is made up of individuals who sit there courtesy of political parties. So it matters. If you think that the quality of life that we live, the state of our education sector, the state of our health care, the state of employment or unemployment for that matter, the state of affairs in Kenya, if you actually believe that things need to be done better and in a different way, you should be a member of a political party. You should look to being able to participate in political processes so that you can influence the outcome of certain decisions. So for instance, if you are a member of a political party, you have then the right to participate in the nominations exercise, depending on how your political party is structured. For some of them, they are delegates. So you can only become a delegate if you are already integrated within the political party system. You qualify then to be elected as a delegate. Other parties, they just use their members to carry out the nominations. So you can't participate if you are not a member of a political party. If you are seeking public office through a political party, you have to be a member for you to qualify to even be considered for nominations. So political parties are important. Most people engage with the electoral process at the end of the process. So you feel that you are political because you have an opinion, maybe you express that opinion, and then you go to the voting booth. But that's the end of the process. The entire elections are a process, not an event. And that process begins with the political parties. It begins at the political party level, and not even during elections, because there are many, many things that political parties do. They can mobilize their members to take a position on a piece of legislation that is coming to the House. They can mobilize their members to take a position regarding a policy that the executive is considering. They can mobilize their member to take positions on various things, you know. So if you are looking, if you're not in that party, then it becomes very difficult to influence those outcomes. The nomination process, which begins on the 9th of April and must conclude by I think, is it the 26th or the 22nd? Yes? So during that period, all political parties will have to do their nomination process. Now, lists will emerge from that. Now those are the candidates. Those are the people that we will meet in the ballot. So when you go into the voting booth, many people go in and they're like, sasa hawa ni akina nani? But did you participate in making sure that Diana and Daisy and all the people that you wanted were on that ballot? No. You are engaging with and many people feel, there are very, very many people feel they can't be bothered with that process because it's very rough. You know how the politics of Kenya is very rough. So they are like, I don't want to involve me in Tangoja nipige kura. But Tangoja upige kura, and already the decision has been made. Because ultimately, when you are voting, you are now choosing from those that have been chosen during the nomination process. I mean, in 2017, we were in one of the rural constituencies in Embu, where we had several women lined up for MCA seats and MP seats. And of course, we have our network partners that we work with in the area, and they were very excited. And we asked them, because the nominations were coming up, and we asked them, how many of you are planning to participate in the nomination? Do you know, out of the network partners that were there, and we had quite a few women there, not a single one of them was planning to participate in the nomination. So I asked them, so how are we going to make sure that these ladies end up on the ballot? They were like, oh, you know, nomination, it's happening, it's far, it's not a public holiday, and that's the other thing. The nomination exercise really tests your commitment to political processes. Because during general elections, the day for general election, it's a public holiday. So everybody can take time off to go and vote. Nominations are not, which means that if you're working, you're going to have to take time off work. If you earn a daily wage, it means that you're going to lose out on your daily wage because you're committed to the political process. Now, many people are not committed to that process because there's this attitude that we have that you must be paid to exercise certain rights that are yours, So people are waiting for the aspirant to come and ferry you or to pay you to go and participate in the nominations. That's one part of the problem. The other part of the problem is our political parties are also very disorganized. And I think we've seen it, even with the huge political parties, Jubilee, ODM parties, that have been in the mix for a long time. They announce the nominations are today.
At least we remember the men in black.
Yes, you remember that. Very disorganized, very disruptive. But also, changing of days, they will announce nominations will be today and tomorrow. And then on the day, they say, oh, we have to now postpone to another day. Some of them, they don't plan properly. Like you'll be told it's at the DC headquarters hapa. Ukifika, watasema, oh, ilibadilishwa ni Westlands Primary. So very, very disorganized. So we've not built up, many of them haven't built up the capacity to organize these processes well. Because the nominations are an election. I mean, like literally, it's an election, yet it's so messy, very disorganized. And so a lot of people, it tests your commitment to your candidate, your preferred aspirant or your preferred leader, but also tests your patience and also sometimes dalliance with violent encounters, because they are also, in some instances, extremely violent. It's part of the patriotic spirit. The patriotic spirit is such that you are willing to pay a price, okay? Like those who challenged the colonial government, they knew they would even have to pay the price of their life. But they were willing to fight because they wanted a better tomorrow. Kenyans don't seem to have that patriotic spirit anymore. We're almost lazy, as it were. And I think also there's been this attitude where, and I think maybe it's been contributed somewhat by, agencies like ours, civil society, where you call people for civic awareness, civic education, and at the end of it, you give them something, a compensation. Not really compensation, but like transport reimbursement and something. And so there's that sense of entitlement, which has killed the patriotic spirit, such that now people want to be paid. Part of the cost of being a candidate or an aspirant in the political process is you have to have loads of money to be able to mobilize and ensure your support base turns up. Because your support base is not going to turn itself up. You have to turn it out. And that's one of the things that's prohibitive. But it's also self-defeating because we fail to see the consequences of that cost. Because if that is how we choose and continue to engage in our politics, nobody gives money for free. So the first thing the person will do once they get in is recover their money. People are not going to look at it they'll be like, I've spent my own money trying to get here, so let me recoup my costs. So they will spend their time recouping their money. So it's a vicious cycle that we go through. And what is the cost that you pay at the personal level? You have leaders then who don't go in to serve, but to recoup losses and to build bigger war chests. So then they are busy making money. They're not busy serving you. So what happens? Even that job that you were like saying that you needed to be compensated for, you lose that job because the economic environment becomes so useless that people, businesses just shut down, like what we're seeing today. But why is that happening? There's so much conflict of interest in this market. Duty bearers are also the business people. So they are not looking to serve and maximize, they just want to monopolize markets for maximum benefit to themselves. And so they lock out genuine investors and genuine business people. So you see capital flight. Businesses just leave Kenya because the environment is hostile. And at the end of the day, that job that you are saying that you are protecting, it's not there anymore. Or you get a really bad job.